Video. My name is Nathan, and today I'm accompanied by Fran. Today we're going to be playing a deck that has been getting some buzz out there on the interwebs, and I think Francesco is the main designer of it. It's called Esper Twix, and I was initially attracted to it because at the time it had Geist and Tasigur, and as some of you may remember, I was building a Geist and Tasigur Esper mid-range deck. The deck's changed a bit since then, and I have to say it looks pretty sweet. It looks like it has a lot of Planeswalkers for value, some disruption, and I'm really curious to see how it plays out. So Francesco, thanks a lot for hanging out with us today, man.
Thanks for having me.
So tell us about the deck. Why did you create it? What was your inspiration? Maybe more importantly, what were your goals? What were you setting out to do with the deck?
Well, initially, I've been an Esper player for quite a bit, and I also played white blue. It's been my colors for a while. I'm inspired actually by what Junk and Jun do. I like the angles that they attack from. And so when I was looking at the meta, I was like, okay, well, Esper actually has a lot of answers to what's being played right now. But all I see is Esper Mentor. You don't really see too many Esper Control decks. I just think that Esper Control is not really well positioned right now. The whole draw ghost style. I think it just gives too many decks an opportunity to get back in the game.
It's funny you say that. I've been playing some games with it, and as much as I like the deck, it is definitely a little on the clunkier side as compared to something like Jeskai.
Yeah, and that's what inspired me to make something like this, where basically my idea, and I've been planning this for a while, is to basically have a control deck, a control style deck where you're applying pressure while you're controlling the game, and you have something on the board that they have to respond to. So basically, I had to find a balance between features and spells that allow me to do that. And it went through like an unconventional route, and I think a lot of players are going to see the original list and see that there's a Tasigur in there and some just random cards mixed together. It looked like, but there was a method that I was trying to develop, and I think now it's really come together. And basically, the idea is to try to control the board state, the hand state, and then once you establish that kind of control. A timely Esper Charm typically in this deck is a blowout, and then you just go in with 2/2s, and over the course of the game they don't realize how threatening those Tidehollow Sculler damages and Snapcasters and Meddling Mages do until you drop an Elspeth and then you fly over the top, and then it's a 2-turn clock. So that's what this deck really is designed to do: control the game, but doing it through a couple hate bears.
Yeah, man, looks awesome. There's a lot of little value engines in here. I mean, the Planeswalkers obviously there's value all on their own, but obviously I'm a big fan of blinking Snapcaster Mage with Restoration Angel, but then Snapcaster Mage with Esper Charm is also awesome. I mean, that can you can snap back an Esper Charm at some point in the game to get yourself ahead. You can snap it back to keep yourself in your position by making your opponent discard. There's a lot of cool little synergies in the deck for sure.
Yeah, the Esper Charm, people were concerned at first. The deck only has 23 lands, and you're doing pretty mana-intensive things. But people were surprised when they actually start playing with Esper Charm again that it digs. I mean, just getting 2 cards digs you 3 deep. You're able to get your lands, and then you're able to set yourself up for what you just said with the Snapcaster Esper Charm. And sometimes you just want to go aggressive. And so there's times you don't have Meddling Mage and Tidehollow Sculler to disrupt the game, but you have a couple of Snapcasters, Inquisitions, and an Esper Charm, and their hand's gone. Just like that.
Yeah.
And that's what's fun about the deck.
Being a Geist player, I think one of the things I like about the deck as well is there's probably some opportunities that come up where you're like, well, I have hand disruption and I have a Geist, so I'm just going to take away everything that matters and then just Geist them to death.
That's right, exactly. The Geist plan's there. If you do get it early, you're on the Geist plan. If you don't see it early, then you may be on the Walker plan. And then if you don't see either, you're just kind of grind them out. You can play the Restoration Snap game where you're just flashing things in, and you can even just go beaters, and just play 2/2s and beat in, and let them think that you're an aggressive deck, and then the control cards come in. And what's cool too is that when you start doing that, they start dumping their hand. They start seeing 2/2s. They're like, okay, well, I'm going to play my defenders. I'm going to play my guys that can stop your little guys. And all of a sudden, they're depleting their hand, and then you hit them with an Esper Charm. So it's a deck with like a lot of mind games intertwined with it.
Now, you mentioned land counts. my gut says you may want 24 lands. I know that in Jeskai mid-range we play 25, and one of the reasons we play 25 is because we're trying to activate Colonnade, which actually takes 6 lands to do when you count the 5 activation cost in Colonnade itself. But also we find it really, it's really important for that deck to hit its 3rd land, and I've done a lot of the calculations myself. 25 is kind of the number that you want to hit if you're sure that you want to hit if you want to be sure to hit 3 lands on turn 3. Granted, your deck kind of has your deck has more turn 2 proactive plays. Like, that deck is more of a reactive deck than this deck, so even if you're only at 2, you still have Meddling Mages you can cast, you still have Tidehollow Scullers you can cast, so the decks are different in that way.
Yeah, I mean,
you have ways to use your mana, is my point.
Yeah, and there's times where, like, again, you're sitting on even like a Snapcaster and Negate, and you can stop some early things. Like, you're interactive, you can be interactive early. But the thing too is there's the one recent addition to the deck was the Jace. It used to be in the board, and Jace in the main does a lot of work. Because if you do get to 4 mana, he helps your mana base quite a bit. You're just digging, you get lands, and sometimes they think that you don't want the lands, but you do, and you grab the lands and you're there, and then maybe one Esper Charm gets you the other lands that you need. So the digging aspect is definitely there in the main. I didn't want any cute spells like Serum Visions and Thought Scour. They may not be cute to other decks, but in this deck you want to go hard, and you want to dig and get all the pieces. So I felt that Esper Charm and Jace main gave me that flexibility of being able to dig through the stuff that I need.
I love the Planeswalker package. I mean, they're all just value generating cards, and I've always liked Jace. I won't say I've always liked Jace, Architect of Thought. I didn't really play with him since I never played with him in Standard, but he, it's interesting because he can kind of, in the right matches, he can really just take over. Now, he won't take over the game, but he can generate so much card draw for you that it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've had games where I've gone end of turn Esper Charm, they dump a couple cards, and then I follow up my turn, I'll Inquisition their last card or Thoughtseize their last card, and then just drop a Jace, and they're on 1 card or none, and you're just generating so much card advantage through Jace. On Jace main, also, it was that card I chose to give me a little bit of an edge against Junk if they do drop tokens. They don't have any pumpers for the tokens, really, so I can use Jace just to kind of stall out. And then I also use the other Planeswalkers, Elspeth and Sorin, in that matchup to pump out more bodies to block against the Goyfs and the Kitchen Finks and Oozes. And then when I can position myself for a Geist and Elspeth attack or Restoration or sweep the board, that's when the deck really just takes off. So I needed the walkers. There was no other way around it. They gave me that late game resiliency.
So let's talk a bit about your matchups. We don't need to know every single one, but give us sort of like that. What are your high profile good matchups and your high profile bad matchups?
Okay, so let's start with the bad ones. Actually, that's one of the things that I've been focusing on the most in the past 2 days before Charlotte. Company is difficult. You would think that it's one of those matches where you're just you hit the keep them off the company or the cord and take care of the creatures. But the problem with company is that it's not like Twin where they're just dropping one creature and then you can respond to the one creature and then maybe Esper Charm their Twin. It's not that kind of combo deck. It just can go off out of nowhere. It can be a top deck company and it can blow you out, or it can be cord, or it can get you through value creatures. So I have to worry about many more angles in that deck than I do any other combo deck like Bloom or Tron or even Gifts. So basically, it to me, Company is a very non-linear combo deck, and it's just more difficult for me to keep up with it if I don't get the right cards early. And mainly, it's one of the reasons why I chose to go with Negate in the main, because I just realized there's some cards that can just blow me out. And Mana League, they can play around it. And I felt Negate was strong against Company game 1. I can just keep them off it with Snapcaster Mage and Negate. So yeah, Company's been difficult. I think I have a couple of board pieces now that improve my matchup against them. But like the Relic of Progenitus is very good against them as well. But mainly that's one of the difficult ones. Specifically, Company Elves is very difficult because they come out so fast. And one of the cool things in that matchup is that this deck still has the ability to grind. I mean, I'm able to call a company with Mage if I want. I force them to use their Abrupt Decays if they do run any in the main against my mages. It just slows down their game plan, and this deck is able to do that against pretty much any deck that you play. Just you have to know the matchup. That's the most important thing. And then the other matchup that's difficult for me is Jund. I mean, Junk, I guess you put it right next to Jund, but what makes it more difficult for me is that Junk's removals are a bit more linear than Jund, and so if I do drop a Sculler or a Meddling Mage and try to disrupt whatever cards they're playing, they can get a Terminate, or they can pick up a Bull, and it's just I'm getting hit with I guess harder, better removals against me than a Junk deck would.
Sure.
And then with Junk, it's linear. I mean, I can call Abrupt Decay with Meddling Mage, and now they're just sitting on path. And I'm okay with them pathing.
Which you took with your Inquisition before you cast Meddling Mage.
Yeah, exactly. The deck does that a lot, and it's so funny because I did mention the two decks I have a difficult time with right now. I think right now, Jund got a little bit better post board. Both matches did. Company and Jund they did get better. Sorin is actually pretty decent. It helps me gain my life back against the Jund matchup. But they're grinding matchups. Honestly, I don't really have. I'd say honestly right now against both of them, and this is just to be honest against anybody who plans on running this deck. My matchup against Company pre-board is about it's about maybe 30 or 40, 60, 70, and then it gets better post board. But because Ashiok is awesome against Company.
I'm sure.
And then I have a little combo, a little neat tech innovation here with against Company post board is I do Ashiok and Elspeth, where I start taking their creatures and then I make them fly with Elspeth, which is awesome. So,
nice.
Once you land, you can take a noble, you can take any little thing, and then it flies, and you put them on the clock.
Right.
So that's pretty cool. And then I just try to grind them out. But then against other decks, though, it's just really funny. I mean, like you would think that like Bloom and these big decks, Tron would be a problem, and it's funny because they typically are for an Esper deck. But what's different here is that you can call the main pieces against those decks with Meddling Mage, and their removal suite is very limited.
That's main. I'm not gonna lie, I think that's pretty sweet. And I've tinkered with Meddling Mage before, and one of the reasons I think Meddling Mage is so good in an Esper shell is Meddling Mage is 10 times better when you know what's in their hand. And when you can go, like I just said, turn 1 Inquisition, turn 2 Mage, or just a disruption spell before you play Meddling Mage, it makes a lot more sense, what you may have to call first. Like if they do have a piece of, like here's a deal, like Oblivion Stone or something, if you can even take it and then know that you're free to then Meddling Mage name Karn or something to that effect. It's pretty awesome.
Sometimes, what's interesting too about Meddling Mage, and I foresee Meddling Mage and Tidehollow Sculler being the most difficult cards to learn how to play when you're first playing this deck, and there was a learning curve even for me. Even with me coming up with the idea, I just said to myself, you know what, these two they're only as good as the matchups you're up against. So if you don't know the matchup well, you're going to be calling wrong cards. It's just a mess. I mean, you can easily go 0-4 if you don't call the right stuff, and it throws your whole game off. So it's very important that you also don't name the card that's in their hand just because it's there. That might not be the most threatening card against you. You might want to call something else and be able to deal with anything else in their hand through negates, through removals. And I think a lot of players will make that mistake at first, and that's completely normal, is to just call what you see in their hand. But sometimes you get blowouts. I mean, this deck really punishes opening hands where your player's holding on to like a hand of like 3 of one card. One player came to me and said that he opened up with an Inquisition on a Noble and then saw 3 Goyfs, and then Meddling Mage's 3 Goyfs, and his tempo loss was disgusting. He couldn't do anything with those Goyfs, and he just wasn't drawing. He was drawing dead. So
yeah,
the deck has that ability.
There's a lot of disruption here. Let's stop talking about it. Let's take a quick pause and go jump into some matches so that we can actually show everybody the deck. Okay, guys, we're here for round 1 with Esper Twix. Francesco, what do we do with this hand?
This one actually is a keeper. This is good.
So I'm assuming we're going to lead with Polluted Delta?
Correct. That's the first play.
All right, this we were just talking about company. I wonder if this is. Oh no, this is. This is. Ban hexproof. So obviously our life total is important. I don't know if we want to go Polluted Delta into Watery Grave and Inquisition them, but we probably want to swamp Inquisition.
Well, right now, yeah, let's go swamp. That's a good call. Absolutely, let's go Polluted and swamp. I'm
just thinking, maybe he only has an enchantment that maybe he has like one mana enchantment or something. I don't know. I'm assuming we want to take something though.
Let's see what we're playing with. Let's take a look here.
So we have Ethereal Armor, Core Spirit Dancer, and Spider Umbra. Obviously, Spider Umbra is his totem armor, but this one really scales the damage up.
Absolutely, and we don't really worry about the core right now. We have a removal in our hand for that. If it it's a problem, but yeah, we want to go with the. See, the thing is though is that let's go with the scaler. Let's go with the armor.
Okay. Here, let's jot this down real quick. We're taking the armor. He's got a Spirit Dancer, Spider Umbra. I'm writing it down. You won't be able to see it, but if you want to ask me what's in his hand, just let me know. Sure. And a canopy.
Hey, maybe the Esper Charm will come in handy in this matchup.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna take out the roll armor, and we'll just pass the turn back.
This is interesting. This is one matchup I actually have not played is the
yeah, this is a matchup that I feel like is kind of bad for any like removal fair sort of deck. It's like, okay, I can't interact with your creatures. Interesting that he chose not to play the Umbra. Maybe he's just gonna play Core Spirit Dancer.
Yeah, we'll take a look.
I figured he would have just played the Umbra and whacked us.
Yeah, I guess he's not expecting that he's got a Tidehollow Sculler.
He didn't do anything. That's really strange.
Yeah.
Hold on, but he did play. Let's see. He played the Mesa, so let me mark that off our list. So right now we know his hand is Spirit Dancer, Spider Umbra, Horizon Canopy, and an Unknown.
Okay, and he's on 4 cards right now, right?
Yeah. Okay. So do we Shotgun Sculler?
That's what we're gonna do. Yep.
All right, we'll pay 2 life. Let's Tidehollow Sculler here. Spellskite is the addition.
Okay. All right, so let's go for the. Actually, you know what? Let's go for the Spellskite.
You sure over the Spider Umbra?
We have. I mean, it's gonna scale some damage, but we do have 3 Esper Charms in our hand.
Okay. I was thinking if we. This is my thought. If we take Spider Umbra, he can't actually attack into our Tidehollow Sculler with his creature because it's not big enough.
Yeah.
And the Spellskite, none of our removal is going to target his creature anyway. So I don't know. Then again,
the path can actually, you know what? The path can take care of the Spellskite if we really need to get rid of it, so we can attack him. But yeah, let's go for the Umbra then. Let's get rid of that.
Do you think that's right? I don't know. You know the deck, but
no. It's just an awkward. Honestly, this is one of those matches where I haven't played, so it's going to be a little bit. The decision making might be a little bit off here. But let's go with the Umbra then.
Okay, we'll take that, and then that also means that if he. I guess he can't use that, at least that one, to potentially draw a card off.
Yeah.
All right. It just depends on what he drew. He's probably just going to draw, like, something ridiculous.
Yeah. See, the only reason... And, actually, I hadn't thought about it, too, is that it says enchantment With Esper Charm, I was thinking like if we want to destroy an enchantment, spells can redirect, but he can't redirect the.
No, he can't. Yeah.
So that's I was even thinking about that.
So yeah, he can't attack, but we need some land. So I guess we're just gonna play the sit here game, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice thing is that we do have Negate up, and he can't even if he draw the obviously the most powerful enchantment is probably the Daybreak Coronet, but he can't play that unless he's already got Glade Cover Scout enchanted by something.
Yeah, we just need one land, and we can start digging with Esper Charm, and that will be good.
So we have to let that resolve.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so he's gonna play Rancor.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest with you. That one is not gonna leave the battlefield anytime soon, so I would probably negate that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Kind of a shame that he got to draw a card, but that's. Oops, hold on. That is what it is.
Yeah.
So we're gonna pass priority on the triggered ability for Core Spirit Dancer, and then we'll go ahead and negate Rancor.
There we go.
I would love to get rid of this Core Spirit Dancer so that he can't draw a bunch of cards, but
yeah.
Inquisition. So let's see. We actually took Spider Umbra. He played the Spellskite. He played the Spirit Dancer. So I don't think we actually know what the two cards in his hand are. He played the Mesa and the Horizon Canopy.
Yeah. So we can.
I think we Inquisition. We have nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Take the other Spellskite. So he's got a land.
This caters to your point now, as we were talking before. Even with 2-3 mana, we're pretty active. We can still do things, but I'm really hoping for that third land right now.
Yeah, the land would be nice. Okay, so we played the Heath. We don't know what his last card is. Path to Exile. That's annoying.
Oh, it gets us our land.
Yeah, but it does do that. All right, so what basic do we want to fetch up here?
Right now, we're going to go for another... I'd go with a blue one.
Okay.
Yeah, because we do have the Jace, and if we get one more land, we can kind of plus him, and that would put some pressure on him as well. This is a very interesting matchup.
This is interesting that he decided to enchant the Core Spirit Dancer instead of the Glade Cover Scout.
All right, well, so we could... how much damage is that coming in for now for the Spider Umbra?
It's going to be 4.
Okay. Okay. Well, if we try to path it, we have to consider this: that if it's a hexproof deck, we're not going to be really pathing too many things. So, it wouldn't be a bad idea to take as least damage we can right.
Well, we have.
But then he can redirect. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think we have 2 lines here. One of them is we draw step discard with Esper Charm. That means we're going to take 4. Next turn, then we could play Jace, which means we would take 2, assuming that he didn't do anything in instant speed and we made him discard. But then we have a Jace online, and then we can Esper Charm and destroy the Spider Umbra. Alternatively, we can Esper Charm his Spider Umbra now or later, but I almost think that making him discard the 2 things at draw step might be a better line.
That is strong. Yep.
Do you want to go that way?
Yeah, that's very, very good, actually.
All right, well, we'll give that a shot.
Yeah, we're in a position right now that if we can start establishing a board stay after he has no cards and we can get rid of the core, it's not really doing too much.
So I think let's see, we'll take 4, so we'll go to 8, but then we'll play Jace. Jace will be at 5, and then we're only going to take, what did he discard here? Oh, you know what? Hold on, let me bring this chat window up.
Sure.
He said oops at some point. Maybe the way he he said oops in chat at some point in the past. I guess maybe he's talking about like maybe when he enchanted the wrong thing or when he didn't do anything. Must have been one of those. So he discarded just 2 lands.
Okay.
I guess he can draw a card with Horizon Canopy. That's one thing we didn't consider, which it looks like he's about to do. It was a Dryad Arbor. That's... I always find it funny how Dryad Arbor, when it comes into play, it can't do anything.
Yeah.
All right, so Jace plus?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, he's gonna put some work in. Now, a really good situation right now, but actually, if we do end up getting, if we dig and pick up a Sorin and start gaining some life, that would be awesome. Or even just start establishing a board state with the Elspeth and some tokens, that would help as well.
Yeah, I guess our next play will probably be dictated a lot by what we draw. Also, I guess what he draws, like if he's able to, what's the word I'm looking at? Oh, well, that's a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say basically what I was saying was depending on what aura he draws.
Yeah.
So now he's gonna hit for, oh my gosh, our line feels really bad now.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So let's see, it didn't seem bad.
Well, this is what I was worried about at first. That Spellskite is going to be an issue now with the path. But at the same time, I mean, he could have equipped it all to the Spellskite if he really wanted to.
Well, I think we're just going to take 9, so... Yeah.
Okay.
So I think what really happened here is... He cast Spirit Mantle, but then he drew a Rancor. He may have drawn... Ultimately, I think he drew like 3 enchantments. Okay, so... What do we do here?
So right away, we're going to take out the stuff that's not going to do much in this matchup. We don't want Dismember. This is going to be a bit too painful in this matchup. So we're going to bring in the Zealous Persecution, and it's going to be good for the 1/1s. And then we're going to bring in a Supreme Verdict, and we're going to take out... Let's take out... What do we got here? I can't really see too well. The Thoughtseize we don't need. The 1 Thoughtseize. We're going to try to take as little life as possible, but still achieve what we're trying to do here. And then, let's see here. We're going to bring in... let's see. It's a very interesting matchup. We don't need the Restoration Angels. We're going to take the 2 Restos out. Alright, and then we're going to bring in... we can bring in, actually... Ashiok puts a lot of pressure in this matchup, actually, if we get it early. So, let's go with the Ashiok.
Okay.
Yeah, perfect. What are we at now? 59? Okay. Let's go with another Negate.
Alright.
Let's see. And the Timelies are going to be very good. Actually, you took out the Thoughtseize, right?
I took out 2 Thoughtseize, yeah. Or I took out, I guess, 1, or how many were there?
Okay. This is interesting. I think actually the Murderous Cut, believe it or not, if he's playing a bunch of Hexproof, the Murderous Cut might not be what we want here.
I was almost wondering about Gideon, but Gideon might just be too slow.
it might be a little too slow. I was actually thinking about putting in a timely reinforcements.
The only issue with timely, and speaking of time, we got 50 seconds to decide, is that a lot of times he does get a Spirit Mantle on, and then it's pro creature, so it doesn't do much on blocking. And he attacks for so much. I don't know how relevant the gain 6 life is. I mean, it might be fine, but
I mean, it's going to be our only life source, gaining life source besides the Sorin. And I think that could help us just reach the Supreme Verdict or something.
Okay.
To help in that situation. So let's give it a shot with this. Let's not mess around too much because I think we were kind of behind on land as well. Everything else looks pretty fine. We have more removal. We have Ashiok. We have more pressure now through walkers. Let's see how it goes.
Okay, so we'll be on the play here.
This actually is fairly decent.
Okay.
I like this a lot.
Keep.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna keep this one.
Darkslick Inquisition him.
Yep, first thing. We don't need to worry about the Celestial Colonnade right now because Supreme that's later. Okay, the first thing is only creature. We're gonna take that first.
Yeah, that's great. It only has one threat. I think the deck is pretty threat light, so definitely being on the play with Disruption is great.
Mm-hmm.
But he drew another one.
Oh, are you kidding? That's funny. Well, again, I mean, if he doesn't start putting a bunch of totems and whatnot, the verdict might be pretty good, but we'll see. All right.
He goes, sorry.
Alright, we're actually going to go, right now, we don't need the Snapcaster or anything, we don't have much action, so we're going to go with the Celestial Colonnade.
Yeah, get it out of the way. I hope I didn't suggest a bad line in our first game and kill us because we didn't take Spellskite.
I honestly, I was thinking about it. I'm not sure how much of a difference it would have made, but then again, he did draw cards with, you know...
He did. That's ultimately the reason that we died, is because it was out there, so... Alright.
Alright, so now we're gonna go, let's just drop the, Seachrome. Bogles is so interesting because it's one of those decks where you would think spot removal would be awesome, and then they all have protection against that. So our best bet is really enchantment removal. But
snap. Do we want to snap Inquisition and then just block to gain an extra?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay. So we'll snap. Inquisition, our buddy John Connor here. Why is that sound? Is that Terminator? John Connor? Is that him?
Yeah, I think that thing's weird.
So this is what we're working with here. Daybreak Coronet is the one that's the whole +3/+3 lifelink, first strike, vigilance.
We're gonna get rid of that.
But Hyena Humber's another
totem.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he has 2 enchantments on it already, because I think if we had Wrath, then the Spider Umbra would fall off, and then he couldn't actually use Daybreak, so then we could have taken the Hyena, but obviously that's not going to work out. I'm letting you decide, man.
Yeah, this is tough.
Your deck, your decisions.
Yeah, no, this is a tough one. I'm gonna say that the Daybreak's gonna get, what was it? +3/+3. First strike, vigilance, lifelink. Okay. He has the mana for it too, right? Or he had 1 mana right now. No, he's got enough. You know what, man? I'm gonna go with the Daybreak. That one is just too much for us to handle, especially if
it's pretty nasty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we are gonna get to block here. There's some world where we get to. Oh, never mind. He's got 2 Spider Umbras. All right, now he's got lots of Umbras.
Yeah, this is not a very good indication of what we're supposed to be doing here. This is terrible.
I mean, I think most decks have. We got a block, right?
Yeah, we'll block this.
I think most decks have pretty miserable like decks like this, with spot removal and stuff, have pretty miserable matchups against Bogles.
Yeah, we need a Patricia Scorn right now.
What's the play?
Okay. We get nothing in our graveyard either, right? Alright, well, let's we have no choice here. Let's drop the Polluted, because I don't want to take any hits from. Alright. Well, he's got 2 cards in here. How many cards? 1. Alright. Let's apply some pressure here. That's Polluted for 1. Let's take a hit.
Yeah, get an island.
Take an island. No, we can take an island. It's fine. Actually, you know what? Let's take
Swamp.
No. Yeah, we have 3 islands. I would take the swamp.
Okay. And then I'm assuming you want a verdict.
Yes, verdict right now. Let's see if we can screw it up.
Ugh, so gross. He's just gonna laugh at us.
Yeah. But he loses the other.
I guess he only loses 1. I don't know if they all trigger though. I guess it's been a while since I've faced this matchup. I think it's probably just. They all say the same thing though. I guess we'll see what happens. I think he's just gonna lose 1 totem armor.
Oh, wonderful.
But maybe we're really lucky and he loses all 3. No, yeah, it's just 1.
And honestly, this is one of those luck of the draws thing, because we would have been in a pretty good situation if he hadn't drawn another one of these, guys. But
oh, we're just dead. I was gonna say he drew enough thrill armor. I was gonna say, well, the nice thing is we were at 16 life and he was gonna deal 8, so we were dead in 2 attacks. But it's kind of irrelevant now. We were dead in 3 attacks after we verdicted, so there was that.
Yeah. No, there's we're in a really tight spot here, and here we're thinking that 23 lands wasn't good enough, and now we're just drawing.
Yeah, right.
No, we're done. This is pretty much this is it.
Can you think of any outs in the deck? Does it make sense to play like a land tap, Snapcaster Mage, block? I mean, I don't think we can draw anything that's gonna save
There's
us.
nothing. I mean, honestly, the only thing I can think of is to just. I mean, he has no trample right now, so the only thing I can think of is to land an Elspeth. So let's give it a shot. Let's just tap Hallowed Fountain and
just run Snapcaster Mage out there.
That's it.
Ambush Viper.
And there's really, there's not really much that we can even. I wouldn't even want to board against this deck. There's really not.
I don't even. You know what my plan against Bogles used to be?
What?
Hope I don't play it.
Yeah, that's it.
Because the matchup was so bad. I was playing Jeskai like bolts and helixes, and they did 0. Now,
exactly.
There was actually when I was running main deck Spell Snares. All right, we knew he had the path. We just forgot about it. So I think we should just concede here because we're going to take the damage. All right, well, that one didn't go well, but maybe we won't play against Bogles again.
Yeah. Ooh, that was rough.
Let's see. All right, I'm going to pause this while we get another match going, guys, and I will see you in just a moment for round 2.